Alright, welcome to today's class. In today's class, we'll be dealing on equation of tangent and normal to curves. First of all, what is a tangent? A tangent is a straight line which just touches the curve at a given point. A tangent is a straight line which just touches the curve at a given point. Alright, so what is a normal? A normal is a straight line which is perpendicular to the tangent. A normal is a straight line which is perpendicular to the tangent. Alright, let me show you a graphical representation of a tangent and a normal. Alright, so this is a graphical representation of a tangent and a normal. Now, a tangent, as earlier said, is a straight line which just touches the curve at a given point. The yellow dot here stands for the point, and the line that touches the curve at this point is the red line. So the red line is known as a tangent. And then a normal is a straight line which is perpendicular to the tangent. The line perpendicular to the tangent is the green line, which is known as a normal. Now take note of this. A gradient, m, is the slope of the curve at the point. A gradient, m, is the slope of the curve at the point. The slope of this curve at the yellow point is known as the gradient. Now let's take an example for better understanding. Example 1. Find the equation of the tangent and normal to the curve y equals 3x squared minus 2x plus 4 at coordinates 0 and 3. Alright, solution. Our first task here is to write down the given parameters in the question. We are given that y is equal to 3x squared minus 2x plus 4. And then our coordinate is 0, 3, where 0 stands for x and then 3 stands for y. Our first task here is to get the slope or the gradient of the tangent. And in order to get the slope or the gradient of the tangent, we will differentiate y with respect to x. So if we differentiate y with respect to x, we would have dy all over dx is equal to, if you differentiate 3x squared, it will give you 6x. Also, if you differentiate 2x, it would give you negative 2. If you differentiate 4, it would give you 0 because 4 is a constant. So since dy all over dx is equal to 6x minus 2, and we don't have y here, so let's substitute the value of x. So if you substitute the value of x, we will have dy all over dx is equal to 6 multiplied by 0 and then minus 2. So dy all over dx is equal to negative 2. So this is the gradient or the slope of the tangent. So therefore, m, which is the gradient or the slope of the tangent, is equal to -2. Our next task is to get the equation of the tangent. Recall, y is equal to mx plus c. You can simplify further by writing y minus y1 is equal to m open bracket x minus x1. So now let's substitute into the equation. In our question, we are given our coordinates as 0, 3. 0 is x1 and then 3 is y1 in this context. So if we substitute into the equation, we will have y minus 3 is equal to -2 open bracket x minus 0 close bracket. Our -2 here is the gradient, which is m. We've calculated for it. So therefore, y minus 3 is equal to -2 multiplied by x gives us -2x plus 0. -2 multiplied by -0 gives us +0. That's why we have plus 0 here. So therefore, y is equal to, if you move -3 to the right hand side, it becomes +3. So we have -2x plus 3. Now let's rearrange. Y is equal to 3 minus 2x. So this is the equation of the tangent. Y is equal to 3 minus 2x. Our next task here is to find the slope or the gradient of the normal. The slope or the gradient of the normal. And the slope of the normal, m1, is equal to the negative inverse of the slope or the gradient of the tangent. So m1, which is the slope of the normal, is equal to the negative inverse of the slope of the tangent. Now let's substitute into this equation. Remember, m is equal to -2. So if we substitute, we will have m1 is equal to -1 all over -2. Now, minus cancels minus. So m1 is equal to 1 all over 2. So this is the slope or gradient of the normal. Our final task is to find the equation of the normal. Remember, y minus y1 is equal to m open bracket x minus x1. But in this context, m becomes m1 because of the equation of the normal. Remember, we had y minus y1 equals to m open bracket x minus x1 because we were calculating for the equation of the tangent. But here we are calculating for the equation of the normal, and we need to substitute the slope of the normal, which is m1. That's why we have m1 here. So if we substitute into this equation, we will have y minus our y1 from the coordinate is 3 is equal to m1, which we just finished calculating, is 1 all over 2 open bracket x minus x1 from the coordinate is 0 close bracket. So now let's cross multiply. 2 will multiply what we have in the left hand side, and 1 will multiply what we have in the bracket. So here we have 2 open bracket y minus 3 is equal to 1 open bracket x minus 0. 2 multiply y is 2y minus 2 multiplied by negative 3 is negative 6 equal to 1 multiplied by x is x, and then 1 multiplied by 0 is negative 0. So now let's move negative 6 to the right hand side. So we have 2y is equal to x. Negative 6 moves to the right hand side, it becomes positive 6. So now let's divide both sides by 2. Two cancels 2. 2 into itself is 1. 2 into 6 is 3. So therefore y is equal to x all over 2 plus 3. So you can simplify further by writing y is equal to 1 all over 2 multiplied by x and then plus 3. So this is the equation of the normal.